I hope we make it to when it's light out again. That's all.
Oh, we will. Believe me, we're already planning our big 1-year anniversary celebration. Yeah.
What are we gonna do? Just you and me?
Yeah, I think you and I think, you know what I might do for old time's sake? I think I'll move my setup back into my kitchen and have the big water tower in the background.
Oh, that'd just be lovely, Eric.
That was, yeah. God, I watched back to some of to our first 2 shows, and we've come a long way. I know you're dying to know, Nance, so I'm going to just tell you right off the bat that this is.
Look.
What am I looking at?
Renee.
Hey, Renee.
So, Renee, I have to tell you, this whole thing of people not being able to comment was a friend of mine, my friend Steve, and I figured it out one night. And we thought it had to do with my setting on my page that needed to be set to public. And I figured it out, and I think it's fixed. I think now anybody can get on here and comment.
Well, I love Renee. She's a doll. She is watching in Florida, and believe me, I know. If I know Renee, the comment you made to me before the show about a certain, and we won't divulge the exact comment. You talked about like a bucket of something.
A bucket of.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
And
I have said that word on the air.
Renee, of all people, can relate to having a bucket of you know what and having no more to give. So we'll just leave it at that. So.
I don't give a So
yes.
The bucket is full of a bunch of
Yes. Got that, Renee? Okay.
My daughter said it to me today, and I loved it. I just never heard that before. So.
Oh, and yeah, now Renee can finally comment, and she tells me this on the phone all the time. You do not age. You never age.
Who, me?
You, yeah.
Oh, God. No.
He's not talking about me.
It's just good lighting. I swear, Renee. Honest to God, I have it all me. And then I got the setting on Zoom that says, do you want to make you look better? Do you have that one on, Eric?
Do I have what on?
The one, that Zoom setting that makes you look better. It kind of smooths your skin out. But thank you. No, thank you, Renee. Honest to God.
Yeah, thanks, Renee. Beth Ann's got a good idea.
Calandra Militello said she can't watch with us tonight. She's very sad about that, but she'll rewatch, which was a lot of people rewatch. We get a lot of.
Okay. Well, Christine Hall Miller is here. You know, Beth Ann Dice. It's funny, Beth Ann. I thought of this myself, although it probably would take a lot of work in terms of a best of compilation for our anniversary.
Oh yeah,
show.
That's editing videos is you can do it with QuickTime, but it's
I thought to myself
it would be real time consuming. It would take me probably 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, so I said it would literally be editing.
Why don't maybe we just have some of the guests on again, quick?
Ooh, okay. That's a good idea.
Why couldn't we just? We want our page filled with all our peeps.
Are you about to put your put a
I
mask
do that all
on
the
time?
Okay. If you go to a board meeting with a bunch of women over 60, you'll notice they all have turtlenecks on.
You know, I can't say I've ever been to 60-year-old lady board meetings.
Well, you know me. You aren't bored with me yet.
Well, you know, you read my mind. No, that's not true. I'm never bored with you. Never bored.
So,
but no, Beth Ann, we might do something along those lines. I just don't want it to become an editing nightmare for my co-host. So, because she does more work for this show than I do.
Well, I'm a techie person. That's okay. We love.
I just sit here, chime in when I can, show pictures, and that's about it.
No one's keeping score, my dear. No one.
No one's keeping score. Well, listen, it's 8 minutes after the hour, and
we have a very, very gifted, fantastic musician. This guy, not only can he play his butt off, but he is one party.
Hey, that's what you've told me, and this will be my first.
I'm not talking about abusing anything. I'm just saying he's so much fun to be around. Much fun.
That's what you've told me. So I hope over the next hour, 20 minutes that he better live up to this fun billing that you've given him. So,
well, maybe he doesn't feel any better than I do tonight. I mean, I got a lot of family.
Listen, I know you've got a lot on your mind, and maybe he does too. And we all have
we're
stuff to deal with.
Man, we get on the stage. When it's time to get on, you go on. My father passed away, and I can remember I went to a gig the next night because I knew this is what he would want. And sure enough, you feel better. You always feel better.
Wow, I never knew that you performed the night after your dad passed. Yes. Wow.
Yep. It wasn't easy.
No.
But I was surrounded by people I love. All the guys they all loved him and they all loved me. So it was, it worked. It was a good place to be.
Well, what do you say we surround you with another person that loves you?
Oh, I don't know how much he loves me. I love him.
Wow, okay. We're going to find out if the love affair is mutual.
I was just trying to talk about his lovely lady who was originally from Buffalo. And she runs a whole jazz program there in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Terrific. All right. So why don't we, where is Jer? He's got to log on. Come on, baby.
Oh, he hasn't logged on yet. I don't have the, you didn't make me a co-host this week, so I don't have the ability to.
No, I can do that. Thank you for reminding me.
That's all right. But until Jer logs on, oh, there we go. You just made me the co-host. Let us also remind people too, that if you, especially since we're coming up to our 1-year anniversary, if you do want to rewatch any one of our old shows, you can do so on our YouTube channel. And you can go back to that very first show, May 3rd of 2020, and see what an amateur hour it was. And
well, so what?
Oh yeah, I was about to tell you, this is show right before we bring Jerry on. This right here, drum roll. Last week we got a drum roll from Carmen. But this is our 36th program. 36 shows. So we thank you, thank those of you who've been with us for all 36. I know Donna Pacini been here for the whole haul. Beth Ann, Donna Militello Calandri, who I know is not with us live tonight, but she'll be watching on the replay. So, and now we wait for.
Yeah, he said he wrote me an email.
Is it possible he got a last minute gig and he forgot to tell you?
If I don't dare, he'd probably go, I gotta go.
Well, I know that, truth be told, we were hoping to get Jerry late last year, and he was busy on Sundays. He was gigging.
Ready?
Oh, hey, look at this. Do I get the honor or you?
No, you like doing it.
There's just something about like saying, yes, the doctor will see you now. No, I'm just.
Go ahead.
All right. The button has been clicked. And I love this moment when we are anxiously awaiting audio and video to match. And here we go.
Hey.
All right. I'm on time, right?
You're on time.
You're on time.
You're always on time, man.
Jerry, you and I don't know each other. Please don't call me baby, okay?
I was talking to her.
Oh, you were talking to her. That's what I figured. Yeah. No.
I think I sort of introduced you a little bit in an email. So,
yes.
Jerry Weldon, Eric Cohen.
Hey, Eric.
Jerry, a pleasure to meet you virtually. Enjoyed playing your music for many, many years on the radio.
That's you. You're the guy doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
There's only one guy.
Yeah, I'm glad I finally got to meet you.
I'm the radio guy, and anytime I saw your name on a record, I hesitated for a moment, but I thought, you know what? Let me give it a shot. This guy can blow. No, I love your playing, and I love your personality. And if Nancy gives you the stamp of approval, then you're a good guy in my book. In fact, you probably have worked in similar circles to my father, who I don't think you know personally.
Go ahead and tell him. He knows.
Yeah.
Everybody down there.
Well, my dad actually said when you have Jerry on, take a moment, maybe ask him about one guy in particular. My dad's name is Ray Cohen. Ray Cohen, pianist.
Okay.
But he asked me to ask you. I said, all right, I'll ask him during the show. Worst thing he says is he says no. Do you happen to know, and he's a close friend of my dad's, Richie Iacona?
Of course I know Richie Iacona.
You do?
I know Richie very well.
And Madeline Cole?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, Grasso's out, yeah.
No, I know Richie and Madeline from Sonny's. Before Grasso's, they were Sonny's.
Okay.
We've talked
Nancy,
about
did you ever work out at Sonny's? So you probably did.
No, but I knew about it. If we've talked about it before, I think we talked about it with Mags.
Oh yeah, well, Mags and I worked out at Sonny's quite a bit. Sure.
Okay.
Because we had Mags on just a couple weeks ago, and he told me to ask you about your arrabbiata.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, no, that was Carmichael's.
Yeah, that was Carmen. Yeah.
Because I make arrabbiata all the time.
You do?
Yeah. I open the can.
Does Mags make that?
Huh?
Oh.
I know. No, Mags don't cook. I know Carmen cooks.
Yeah, Carmen.
I make a nice marinara sauce though, man. I make a nice marinara.
Marinara.
Yeah, with sometimes I make a shrimp marinara.
Yeah.
We always talk food on this show. It somehow
why not? We all love food.
It always comes back. But I'll tell you what. But getting back to Eric, what your father was tight with Richie. Is that what happened?
Yeah, my dad has known Richie for tons and tons of years and played in. My dad.
And his name is what? What is his name? Bob Cohen.
Ray Cohen.
Oh, Ray Cohen. That's right. You said Ray Cohen.
Yeah.
I'll ask. In fact, I talked to Richie. I guess about a month ago. We talked on the phone.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
but we go way.
Do you? Okay. Well, I'll definitely. I'll tell my dad, and then if you happen to remember when you talk to Richie, let him know that I chatted with Ray Cohen's son and Nancy Kelly on there.
And Ray was a pianist also.
Yeah, my dad. Well, he still is a pianist, but he hasn't been playing a whole lot. He actually recorded back in the 60s and 70s with a guy named Derek.
Yeah, Jerry's interested. Tell him.
Yeah. Well, no,
I remember Derek Smith.
You remember Derek? Yeah.
I do. They used to do. I grew up in Long Island.
That's where my dad. That's where my dad is right now. Yeah.
Where is he?
He's in New Hyde Park.
Oh, that's my grandparents lived on New Hyde Park Road. Man.
Oh my gosh. You know what, Nance?
I probably went.
We're good. We don't need you, Nance. We're fine.
I'm fine. I'm enjoying it. I'm like, go ahead. Tell him about some people.
My grandparents lived on New Hyde Park Road.
New Hyde Park Road. You're taking me home right now.
Hillside Avenue.
Did you just say Hillside Avenue?
Hillside Avenue. About
goodness.
2 blocks south of Hillside. Yeah.
All right. Wow.
They lived there when they moved from the neighborhood. They were from East Harlem, and then they moved out to the suburbs. They moved out to Long Island.
Yeah.
And then and they lived on New Hyde Park Road. And then I grew up that's where I grew up, in that area. And then there was Sonny's, and that's where I met Richie and Madeline at Sonny's.
Okay.
And then what they would have the Art of Jazz. The New York Art of Jazz, they would put on concerts, like Sunday afternoon in the library and at the this and at the that.
Yeah.
And they were always free. And I got to, when I was a teenager, I got to hear, Derek Smith was like the house pianist, and they would bring in, Clark Terry would be there one week, and then it would be, C.I. Williams and Richard with great trumpet player Richard Williams and Houston Person and Harold Vick and all the greats, Harold Owsley.
Wow.
And and Derek Smith was on a lot of those. Bill Watrous, I remember did one of those. And, it was this Sunday. It was a Sunday afternoon kind of thing.
So I'm sure when I talk to my dad tomorrow and I say, Dad, look up Jerry in local 802, he'll find you. And
I'm still somehow I'm still in good standing. I don't know how that happened. But somehow I'm still in the union.
Still in the union.
What would
19
cause you not to be, man?
Hey Nancy, I've been in the union since 19.
Oh,
Oh man.
I know.
I got a huge pension coming. Believe me, I'll try not to spend it in one place.
When I first joined, I couldn't join for a while because singers weren't considered musicians.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Really?
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
But if you played like the maraca or something, then you could get in.
When did you join? Are you still in 802, Nancy?
No. I was in the one upstate here, and I only joined so I could get Blue Cross from them.
The Syracuse
Yeah,
local?
78, I think.
78.
Yeah, but it's you're like me. Oh, you just got what? Well, wait a minute.
A salute.
Salutes. Yeah, I got a little tomato juice.
Yeah, that's what I got. I got a little.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay.
Little club soda here. Yeah.
You're being good. So
all right. Well, anyway, we're not going to go down that Long Island rabbit hole anymore.
Well, give my best to your father.
I will.
I'll call him tomorrow. Man, Richie's a good. We're big Sinatra guys. Me and Richie. So we love to talk about old songs and you know, and of course Madeline is just the greatest. You know Madeline Cole, Nancy?
No.
Yeah. She's a
great singer.
Singer and a bassist as well.
And a bass player. Yes, indeed.
Oh, yep. See,
you would like her.
Yeah, if the ones that play, people that play always.
But she got a nice groove. She's the real deal.
Well, I was going to tell you who some people said hi before we moved on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gwen Cooper Jobs.
Oh yes.
Toby Jobs.
Gwen Cooper Jobs. Absolutely.
Yep. Did I get it?
Yep. You got it right.
Stephen Carter Jackson.
Oh yeah, Steve Jackson. Yes. Steve Jackson and I worked at ASCAP together.
Whoa!
Many moons ago, and we've kept in touch over the years. Yeah, back when, right before I joined Lionel Hampton's band, when I moved to New York, I got my first apartment on 56th Street, and I went to work. Nancy, I went to work for ASCAP, listening to the air checks, so they could get their money, so they could get their royalties.
Kidding.
It was all top, all top 40 tunes from this is 80, 81, 82, and you'd log it in your little book, and you'd fast forward the tape. You get these reel-to-reel tapes, and you'd have to go.
Publishing police, man.
You'd have to go through so they could get their money. Yeah, so they could get their royalties. That was my gig for 6 months. I worked there.
That's an honorable thing to do. People need to get paid for their.
And Steve Jackson, we had our little desks with and Steve, I could look down and see Steve was 2 rows down from me, and we got to be good pals.
When you say move to the city, you're talking about from the island.
Yeah, when I moved into Manhattan. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry's accent is definitely not a Nebraska accent. I mean, you can tell he's a tri-state area guy through and through. So,
how can I tell you?
And you're a Rutgers. You went to Rutgers, right?
I certainly did.
Yeah, the pride of Piscataway, New Jersey.
Pride of Piscataway. That's right. I came out of that. I came out of the band with Terrence Blanchard and Thomas Chapin and Ralph Peterson and Adam Brenner, David Schumacher, a lot of great. Harry's a great pianist named Harry Pickens, who later went with Johnny Griffin and Eddie Lockjaw Davis. And, it was a great. Frank Lacey was there.
Oh,
we turned out quite a Andrew Beals. I know I'm going to leave somebody out, but it was great. It was a great program down there. Larry Ridley was heading it up, and Paul Jeffries had the band. Yeah.
When did you start playing the horn?
1972.
What did you do anything before that with music?
Yeah, I had guitar lessons when I was before that, but that didn't take.
Yeah.
That didn't.
So what got you into the horn?
I couldn't play anything on the guitar. What's that?
How did it happen that you got into that, the horn?
I guess my mother and father, they love jazz.
Yeah, that's
and
the thing to me.
especially when my mother loved Frank Sinatra, so that was so she would listen to WNEW all day long. So I knew all of these songs, and then my father would come home and play the hi-fi, and he liked Stan Getz and Bird and Lester
Man,
Young,
same thing I
and
had.
he had good taste. My father,
Yeah,
he loved Errol Garner and Brubeck and Basie and all of that. And
Now-
so the horn. So at that time, for some reason, I remember he had those Brazilian records with Stan Getz and Joe Beam, and that's the sound that got me right at first. That sound.
I can hear that in
So
you. I can hear that in you.
so
But-
I wanted to that's where it started. So
But you are a serious blues bass player, though. You love to draw from that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying that was what pulled me in,
Yeah.
Yeah, in
And-
my
and then-
extensive
and- Yep.
in my extensive research that Nancy knows I do for these shows, I read that, and correct me if I'm wrong. I have been wrong a few times.
Have you?
That you saw Getz at the Vanguard, and that was kind of a
I did.
seminal moment for you, right?
Wow, you've really done your homework.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Trust me.
He's a
There's-
good boy, man.
There's a lot of dirt on you, Weldon. Let me tell you. There's a lot.
I'm a little apprehensive. But,
Don't worry. I
I'm
got him
gonna-
trained well. Don't worry.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. That's you. He's right in that. I had been playing. That was Labor Day. That was the Labor Day weekend of 1972. So I had been playing all of about 9, because I started January 72. I took my first saxophone lesson. So this was a Labor Day weekend. So I've been playing all of 9 months.
72.
Yeah, 1972. And of course I had gone to see, we used to go to Eisenhower Park, and we go to the library, and we go to Central Park, go to Carnegie Hall, and hear concerts and stuff. But this was my first time in a jazz club at the Vanguard, and at the club where you're sitting like at that particular night, we were sitting right in the very first seat. So you're literally looking up at these guys. So that was my first time in an actual joint, in a club. And
Wow.
and that I heard Getz that night, and I was already kind of going there, but that's what did it.
That clinched it.
I said that's what I want to do. You could hear the air coming through his horn.
Oh yeah, I know.
He sounded like, George Cables tells this story, and it's so perfect. You guys would know what I'm talking about. Kenny Barron worked with Stan Getz for many years. They worked together, People Time, and they did a lot of recordings. So sometimes Kenny would call George Cables to sub for, to play with Stan. And the very, very first time he hadn't played with Stan, he played with Dexter, and he played with a lot of cats. He never worked with Freddie Hubbard. He never worked with Stan Getz. George was living out on the coast at that time. So it was Stan. I guess Kenny hooked it up. And George made the rehearsal. Stan says, come by my house, and we'll run through some things. George sits down at the piano, and Stan starts to play. And George says to himself, man, that sounds just like Stan Getz.
Wow.
Wait, I gotta show you. I don't know if
I know what I meant. I know what he meant by that, because he sounded, when you hear him on records and in recordings, he's just got this beautiful sound. And oh yeah, look at that. I see that.
That's Stan and Steve, little Steve.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
You see this? I had that.
Did he sign that?
No, that Steve did that.
Well, I knew Steve too.
Steve, when I was with Abby Hoffer, which was one of the greatest eras of my life. Abby was loved. He had McCoy Tyner, he had me, he had a small little stable, but he was really starting to.
No, I remember Abby Hoffer.
Yeah, but Abby passed away.
I know.
And then Steve took over, and you know, we became very dear friends. And as you know,
Oh,
Steve.
you were good friends with Steve?
Oh yeah, man. He was, you know,
he was a good guy. He used to book.
He was all
remember,
heart.
Yeah, you remember Lush Life?
Yeah.
He booked Lush Life, and then he was booking Fat Tuesdays. I think he was there for,
all that. Yeah.
and
yeah.
I met him at
Rainbow Room, man. He had me.
I met him at Angry Squire.
Yeah, he had a bunch of stuff. That's back when I was living in New York, back in the good old days.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Steve passed also.
Yes, he did. I don't even know how long ago. I'm getting so old. I can't.
It's a year or so, a year or two. It's been the last couple of years. He was a very nice guy.
Really, really good guy. Yeah. But you know, we find them too. You know, we find the right people. We just seek them out, and they show up in our lives.
Sometimes they find us.
Yeah.
I don't want to stay on a negative note about somebody who passed on, but we lost a phenomenal musician last year who I know you both had the ultimate respect for, and I know that Jerry had a chance to play with him, and
Freddie Cole.
And the record was produced by a gentleman who was a guest on our show, Todd Barkin. But
Todd,
you knew Freddie for a lot of years, right, Jerry?
Well, Todd, I believe Todd was the one that got me with Freddie.
Okay.
Todd got me on a lot of good gigs, man. Todd's in Baltimore now. He's doing all right. Man.
He is.
He's trying to keep it. Have you been down to the Keystone, Nancy?
No, he promises. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
Oh, that's Todd. Well, he actually got me on this. I actually known Freddie over the years. Right. We never got to work together. We'd run into each other and see each other. We knew each other quite a while before I was fortunate enough to
I knew Freddie
to work with him.
On the road.
Freddie was the greatest, right?
Oh my God, Freddie loved my singing. Because there's just so few blues-based singers out there.
What's not to love?
Oh, you're a sweetheart. But there's not a lot I talk about. There's not a lot of people coming up doing blues-based jazz singing. You know, I don't. There's a few people out there doing it. I mean, but it's a tradition that I'm working hard to still keep alive.
Yeah, that's.
And I don't mean me.
Just, you're just singing. Well, you got students, so you pass it. You got to pass it down. That's where we're at now. We got to pass it down.
See, I had all that same background that you had. My father played all that stuff in the house, and he was an audio buff. So it was really the speakers in every room, and Count Basie blasting, and Billie Holiday, and Ella, and of course he wasn't.
And it was Go ahead.
No, he wasn't really that big of a Frank fan. I sort of became a Frank fan on my own. He got more into the jazz, deeper jazz than Frank.
Yeah.
But,
oh yeah. Well, like I said, my mother was she was in love with cinema. My father liked Frank. He liked the singers though. He liked Dick Haynes and he liked Billy Eckstein and he liked
yeah, man.
He liked good. He had good taste.
I was just gonna say.
He did. Yeah, no, he did. I was lucky like that. But getting back, Nancy, you would appreciate this. Freddie Cole, and I got to work with him for quite a number of years. And Freddie, you could work from Tuesday night to Sunday night, do 2 sets a night. Freddie could play. He wouldn't have to repeat a song. Of course, he did. He would repeat.
Oh, he knew more tunes than anybody else.
He knew more tunes and had an arrangement on all of them. And he would just start the intro and boom, the cats would know when to play because he wouldn't use horns. He basically had his trio or a quartet with guitar and piano and drums in him. And they would add horns. Horns would come in and out, but his basic thing was his quartet with the guitar, and those guys were tight. He knew a gazillion songs. You know what I'm saying, Nancy? He knew a million tunes. Had a slick arrangement on all of them. And
didn't I see you at Dizzy's with him? Did I?
You saw me. Well, that recording.
Well, that record actually was recorded at Dizzy's.
That was recorded live at Dizzy's. Yeah, I did quite a few of those with Freddie.
Well, that's where I remember seeing that. You up there with him? Yeah.
Yep, I worked a few years with Freddie. He was of course, he was a big baseball fan too. So we used to like to talk about baseball.
Oh,
and
now you're talking my language.
There you go,
Yeah.
Syracuse Chiefs.
Listen. Well, actually, they're not the Chiefs anymore, though.
Yeah. Well, that means I'm old.
No. They just changed their name a few years ago. They're now the affiliate of the Mets, so they're the Syracuse Mets now.
Wow. See,
and I'm actually a Mets fan, so.
Well, see, I knew I liked you, Eric. I knew I liked you right away. There was something, but now you go back. I know you're old enough to remember for years. The Syracuse Chiefs were the Yankees AAA team.
They were, yeah. They've been the affiliate of a lot of different teams. So
well,
now they're on the.
Yeah, but for many years they were the Yankees farm team.
Well, I'm glad that we're not going to have a Met Yankee debate. So
go ahead. I love to hear it. He's trying to talk sports with somebody.
No.
Usually it's with Mags, who's a Yankee, who's a big Yankee fan. I don't have to tell you that, but that's okay. I'm not a hater, Nance. I'm not a hater. I don't hate the Yankees.
Oh, what do we got?
I see that.
Speak of the devil, there's a couple of Joes in this picture.
I remember this. This was in Rochester. I believe.
Exactly. This was do you remember, Jerry, or else I?
It was. I'm going to say this is going back. This has got to be a good 3 or 4 years ago.
I think it was 2015, I believe.
Okay, six years ago. Okay, who's counting?
Yeah.
Was it 15?
I think I could be.
Wow.
Okay. Maybe it was. Maybe
no,
it was,
you could be right. It's. I knew it was a while ago. It's more than that's Joe Strasser.
That's
and the Magnarellis.
He's wonderful.
And Mr. and Mrs. Mags.
Kiko, Mags, Joe, and
she can play, man.
That's Kiko.
She can play. I love her groove, man.
Look. Can I just break in at this particular juncture?
You're our guest. You can break in whenever you want.
Yeah. It's your show, baby.
Well, just because he put this picture up, so I have to interject a little something. Mr. and Mrs. Mags actually met on my gig out in. Now, Eric, you tell your father about this. They met. It was my gig at the Mixed Notes Club, Mixed Notes Jazz Club in Elmont, which is the next town next to New High Park.
Of course.
So,
okay.
you know Elmont. I'm
very familiar with Elmont. Yeah, okay. I didn't know, but I never heard of the Mixed Notes Club.
Well, believe it or not, and I don't even know how, but it's still there.
What?
So
even after
it's not. I don't think they're doing much, but they're still there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Kiko told me this years later. I didn't even realize, but of course I know Joe Mags for a million years. I mean, we're brothers.
He said you were just over at his house.
What's that, babe?
He said you were just over at his house the other night.
I was there last week. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
For his birthday.
That's what it was.
Birthday.
Yeah.
And he's so years old.
He's younger than me.
He's younger than me too, but not by that much.
But that picture I had posted, I believe, if I saw correctly, it was a Clarissa. Is there a Clarissa Street?
Yeah, there was. Well, we had. Oh my God, Rochester had so many great clubs, and we had a lot of black jazz clubs.
Okay.
Pith Odd Room was really well known.
Which one?
Pith Odd. P.
Oh, the Pith Odd. I remember the Pith Odd.
Everybody came through there, man. And then there was the Clarissa Street, that jazz club there, where I played with Joe Romano there a lot. You must know Joe Romano.
Oh, Joe was the greatest. Well, him and Mags were buddies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't meet Joe until when he was living in Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah. He moved out.
Him and Dick Burke was living out. I know you remember Dick Burke.
Trombone player, right?
Yeah.
Drummer.
Yeah.
Drummer.
He moved to Portland, Joe.
Exactly. So did Dick. Dick lived in Portland as well. Did Joe move to Portland?
Yes.
And then he moved back to Rochester, correct?
I don't know how that whole timeline worked. I only know that his
Yeah,
wife,
I think he
his
actually,
wife Judy is still out in the bay.
I think he actually, the last few years of his life, I think he was back in Rochester. But maybe one of our listeners who's listening in can tell.
Yeah.
But I got to know Joe. I saw Joe with Woody Herman's band.
Oh,
God.
Was it Woody's band? Or I'm trying to remember if it was Woody's. Maybe, no, I don't know if it was one of those bands. I can't remember now. But Joe was a great, one of the unsung heroes.
Well, he was a very bop influenced player, man, but still blues based. He was great. He was great.
Trail
around after me on the bandstand. He taught me so much, Jerry. He taught me so much.
Yeah.
I worked with him a lot. Just listening to him play, man, it was.
Oh yeah.
It's a lesson. It's an education.
yeah.
It is. It really is.
That's how I think you gotta look.
Joe Romano. Oh, look. Oh, there you go.
Speaking of Nancy on the bandstand, I just love this picture.
I do too. Look at
you're
that.
You're blocking out Dino, Jerry, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, it's true. It's true about what they say. The camera adds 20 pounds.
Well, you have you always bend back when you play. I love the way. I love.
Yeah,
wow. I'm a little on it. Yeah,
I love it.
Where was this taken?
This I believe was
Rochester Jazz Festival.
No, this isn't Rochester, Nance.
That's Rochester Jazz Festival.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Oh, for some reason I thought this was the January Jazz Fest.
We didn't. I tried to bring Jerry up for one of those. I don't know how that.
Oh, so this was in Rochester. I just love the fact that it's in black and white too.
Yeah.
I don't know who took it. Probably Aaron Winters. He's the jazz.
It's a good shot.
Yeah, it's a great shot.
But
that was
I love your posture,
Jerry. We
Jerry.
sold that room out two shows.
Wow.
The room that we were in. Remember? We all marched up to the bandstand. I don't know. You do way more gigs than I do, but I mean, that was a great night, man.
No, I remember that. Rochester, that was 15, 16, 17, something like that.
I don't know, from today or 2 years ago. I don't know.
And they had I know they had a jam session at the hotel.
Hey, Bob Snyder. Do you know Bob Snyder on the guitar?
I know Bob very well, and his brother.
Yeah.
John. Yeah.
John. Yep. Yep.
Did you see you just popped into?
Yeah, they had the session. They had the session. Benny Green was there that night, and Victor Lewis. I remember I hung out with Victor Lewis that night. He was playing there, and I played with Benny and with Bob Snyder and I think Mike Melito was there too.
Yeah, he plays the drums. Dino Lucido just popped in. Our buddy Dino.
And he said, "Don't ever block me out of a photo again."
Yeah, what does he want anyway?
What the hell does he want?
I can see him laughing right now. He said Joe was living in Rochester his last years.
Who's that?
He said that Joe Romano was living in Rochester.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I'm glad that Dino's watching. So feel free to talk all the.
Jer. We've done a lot of gigs with Jer, me and D. We've done a bunch of them, man.
Now, what does Dino mean by?
We sure have.
What does he mean by that, Nance? What he just said?
Henry.
What did he say?
Henry. What is that?
Oh, he's talking to me. I know what he means.
Is that an inside joke?
Yeah. I know what he means.
All right.
I know him.
Oh man.
That nut. I know you. Don't worry.
Well,
tell him, hey Dino, I do lots of things for you, Dino. I do lots of things for you. I'm trying to tell you. He knows what I'm talking about.
You know what? I mean, since he's interjected himself into the show, we got to bring up this picture.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah.
That was at your gig, Nance, right?
That was at Birdland.
That's a great show. Is that? Yeah, that's right. That's Birdland.
You know that dressing room.
That's exactly where it is. Yep.
Wow, that's nice like very tight quarters there.
You gotta send me that. I don't have that one. That's nice.
To you, babe?
That's a good one.
I'll send it to you, Jerry. Although I remember
I remember that hit. Yep.
I love the dress. I mean, I've been to Birdland. I've obviously never been inside a dressing room, but I just love the look of the.
Nah, you're not missing much. You're not missing much.
No.
Nah, you're not missing much. Eric,
you don't know the glamour.
This show business thing is way overrated.
Yeah,
that's why I stayed in radio for 25 years.
You're a smart kid.
But no, I know that was a memorable night for for all you guys involved with Nancy at Birdland, and
that was a great night. I remember that night. It was Ed Cherry and Ed was on it, and Carmen, right?
Was Carmen on that?
I think so. I couldn't.
I call him Carmicans.
Carmen.
Yeah.
I got that from Neil Miner. Now, bringing up Neil Miner, I wish I had a picture. Neil Miner is how you and I met.
I'll find you a picture, Neil. Don't worry.
So the story goes that we were doing.
I know. Go ahead. You tell the story.
Well,
I know where you're going. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Neil says to me, "You got to meet Jerry Weldon, man." That's okay. So he put me on a gig. It was just a wedding. I mean, people think we don't do weddings. Yeah, we do weddings. We like that.
Of course we do. Weddings pay. They pay handsomely.
They do. So we all met in Philadelphia.
Yep.
And I remember just standing there going, and I remember looking at Neil going, you. Because I knew it. I says, oh, there's my brother from another mother. Because we're both so animated on stage. So
that was in Philly. That's where we met, huh? I remember that.
Yeah.
Steve Ash was playing piano.
Steve, he's a fine player.
Neil, of course. Neil says Mark Taylor was on drums for our gig at Berkeley. Mark was playing drums. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Carmen did the recording with us, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
With the Be That Way record.
Yeah, that's Dino did the arrangements.
I promise we get a quick.
There's Neil. Look at you.
Neil.
You're very good. That's Neil.
Yeah. Good player, better guy.
He's great, man.
Yeah. He's
great. We go way back.
He's got a great feel. I don't need a lot of notes. I need feel, and that's what I'm always looking for. You know what I mean?
That's the beginning and the end.
Yeah, it's the whole story.
Who needs notes? You don't need a lot of notes.
I tell my singers that you don't understand. Nobody cares about notes. They really don't. They don't. Nobody cares about notes. They care about feeling you.
Yeah.
They want to feel.
Well,
that's something that you are a master at. I'm sorry, I'll never forget that gig we did down at that little black jazz club in Elmira. I thought, boy, when he pulls, and you drove all the way from freaking New York up there, man. I was like, God bless you.
No, well, you remember what happened. I missed. You had the festival that same weekend. You had the festival. I got stuck.
It was supposed to be
I got stuck in Spain. We couldn't get out of wherever we were flying out of. I was in Europe, and the last gig was in Spain, and we couldn't get out, and I missed. And you had the two gigs together, so I made the second one, which was and what was the name of that joint? Elmira. What was the name of that?
Called Green Pastures.
Yeah, that was an old school joint.
No, that's the real deal, man.
That's a soulful joint. Yeah,
that's the real deal.
Carmen was there on. Carmen was on that.
You got that picture?
That's when I met Dino's mother there too. Dino's mom was there.
She was special.
That's where I met her.
We
Yeah,
all loved Rosa.
I met Dino's mother there.
She was special.
She was beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, I know what picture you're talking. I know the picture you're talking.
It was packed. It was a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and I remember you came out and you did your thing where you started blowing. This guy jumps up. He goes, "Oh, baby, we got a blower. We got a blower."
Oh, there.
Is this it, Nance?
Yeah, that's the gig.
it.
That's Green Pastures. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it had to be one of the hottest gigs I think I've ever done.
It's Bob Snyder. Yep.
Bob, I love watching Bob is.
Oh, you got to send me this one too, Nance. I got to get this one. That's a great shot.
It is.
That was a great day. I remember that day. That was a good day.
That was a hell of a gig, man. Yeah. We left there all so high. We
lit it up.
What do you mean high, Nance? Oh, okay.
Sorry. I mean, we blew it up, man.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. No, I don't get high. I drink wine. I don't get.
Oh man. Wow, 2 weeks in a row we've touched on greener pastures. We had Carmen last week, and
Oh, it's a great club. There's very few clubs left like that in the United States, if there's any. There's he passed away.
Very, very, very few.
Very few. I mean, everything now is along the lines of.
Well, it's it gets back to those clubs. It goes back to who's running those clubs. See, now, like you mentioned before, you mentioned Todd Barkin. Now, Todd is like one of us. He's one of those club owners, that's willing to, that's that heart and soul is what is in those clubs, and you just don't have that anymore. That connection. Sonny's was like that. The Vanguard when Max Gordon was there was like that. But that's a loss because a lot of these guys aren't around anymore.
Well,
that are willing to live and die with the music, with the joints. So those they're very, very, very precious now, these places.
I'm guessing you're going to remember the club I'm about to show you, and it's ironic because we just had Ari Silverstein just joined us in the chat.
Oh,
and Ari,
I was wondering what took him so long.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he said Utica, and then he had the emoji for a green, of course, Utica greens. And then Ari says that he hopes this club, I'm not going to say which because I found a great picture of it. He hopes this club reopens.
Oh, there's Kyle. Let's see.
Oh yeah, that's Leslie Harrison and Jerome Jennings.
Is that Bob Duro? Who is that?
No, that's Buddy. His name is Buddy Green.
Buddy Green.
And he's an old friend. He's a New Yorker, a hipster that goes back to Jimmy Lunsford at the Apollo. He's the real deal. He's the real Harlem. Harlem Buddy Green. That's Leslie Harrison.
He does look a little bit like Bob Duro, though.
Yeah,
I
understand. I see what you're saying, and that's Kyle. You see on the far right. And next to him is J.C. Styles, the great guitarist from Australia.
Ooh.
And there's Leslie, and that's Jerome Jennings on the left. And that was a night. That was, in fact, that might have been the last night that I played. That's February.
You know what?
That was February of last year.
You're right. It was February, third week of February.
Yeah.
It's about a month before everything changed. Yeah.
Because I'll tell you why. The next day I got on a plane and went to Las Vegas with Harry Connick, and we started a tour that was supposed to be a month-long tour. And we got about 2.5 weeks into it. We got to Jackson, Mississippi on March the 11th, and they sent us all home. And that was, and here we sit.
And here we sit. Now, I've never been to that club, man. Showman's.
That's Showman's. Yeah, that's the last.
Yeah,
that's the last of the old time Harlem organ joints. Which I started working out at in 1986.
Wow.
When it was around the corner with Jack McDuff, and there was another great organist by the name of Bobby Forrester who used to work there a lot, and Percy France, and then Arthur Taylor when he came back to New York, he brought his band in there, and so many nights that I worked there, and so I worked there pretty steady from 1986 until last year. It's Al Howard, the great Al Howard, who we lost to COVID in October, and his partner Mona, who's still running the joint. We hope we'll be able to return soon. But that's where my heart and soul is, in that place right there.
Yeah, I know that.
Yep.
That's when you get to really blow, because when you're touring with Harry, I mean, you got your thing. You should tell us. We want you to tell us about how you got hooked up with Harry Connick.
Well, I first met Harry Connick when I was with Lionel Hampton's band. And look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry that it's a stock photo, but
Oh, so what? We don't care. We're happy just to look at it.
I see that. I don't know where that is. It's a nice shot. I don't know where that.
So that wasn't the whole band, just a trio?
Well, I see Neil Kane behind me, and I see a couple of string players. in the background. I don't know where. It looks like a TV. It looks like a TV
I
show.
think it looks like it could be the set of a TV show.
You know, I've been with Harry off and on for 30 some odd years, so I mean, it could be.
Yeah, tell us about that relationship.
I met Harry when we went down to New Orleans when I was with Lionel Hampton in 1984, and he was still in high school, but he was still, you know, he was working all the joints down there, and he came and sat in with the band, and then a few nights later, we were down there for a couple of weeks, and then a couple of nights later, they said, you know, Harry's playing over at this other club when we finished work. So I went back and I sat in with him over there, and
done deal.
And then he says, you know, I'll be moving to New York pretty soon, and this and that. I'll look you up, and then so we stayed in touch, and then he actually got the gig playing piano with Lionel Hampton for a very brief time before he took off. He had signed with Columbia, and he was waiting for stuff to jump off. And so we rode the bus that night. He said, listen, I might be getting my own band pretty soon. Would you, you interested in coming out? I said, yeah, sure. And sure enough, a couple of months later, he called, and he said, we're going out for a couple of months. And that was June of 90.
Mm.
And, he was that Harry Met Sally record had taken off, and, and that's what happened. And that was, like I said, we went out, we worked from the middle of 1990 to the end of 1993, pretty steady. Pretty steady. Did a couple of recordings, and I don't know if you remember the band. There was a great Russell Malone was in that band, and the great Leroy Jones and Lucian Barber and Shannon Powell. Ben Wolf was the bassist, and Harry, and it was Brad Lely and the saxophone. Dave Schumacher was there, and Ned Gould. Oh, there you go.
I just found this picture. I know Leroy's not in this photo.
No, this is the TV. This is the TV show.
Oh, that's the TV band. Okay.
That's the TV band.
Yeah, I know it's a little blurry.
There's Jonathan and Jeff Burke, and there's Lucian, who we lost last year. The great Lucian Barber. Yeah. That's the real deal right there. And there's Dion and Jumani Smith on trumpet.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Mark Bro, another great trumpeter, Mark Bro, a real New Orleans trumpet player in that, coming out of that tradition, coming from that long lineage of family.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I couldn't resist this one. You and Harry just.
When the show first came on the air, I said, "When they gonna let Jerry loose, man? When they gonna let him loose?"
Oh, it's TV, man.
I know, but man, you could.
That was a great show. I really. Oh boy, do I miss that show.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
Baby. The narrow on that.
That was a good run.
It was a nice take.
That was a great run.
Joe, did you see what Joe Cortini wrote in the chat, Nance?
I can't see the comments.
Oh no,
tell him, Eric. It's cute.
When Harry met Jerry.
Yeah.
So Joe Cortini is the producer of the Fulton Jazz Fest, where we played last together.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I think
that was a great. That was fun. That was with Johnny D. Joey's brother Johnny was on that. Yeah, after our set, John.
We did a set. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was us and that was Carmen and Kyle, right?
Yeah. And I try to explain to people. I said, look, I said, who's on the date? I bring the charts. We know all the tunes anyway, because I don't care if people, I don't need to do arrangements, unless it's a different kind of a setting. It's so we just get up there and blow. Kyle had never worked with me.
Yeah, Kyle.
He did a beautiful job, man.
That's my man.
You know, Carmen holds it down. He just holds it down and drives it. You know.
Yes, he does.
Oh,
yeah, he does.
oh wait, I just found. Yeah, you know what? I just give me about 10 seconds, but I just found what you guys are talking about from 20. I guess this was 2019, and it's just a great, just seeing the two of you, the chemistry that you two share together. So back when there was live music, folks.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
you know, they shot a lot of nice videos.
That's 2019.
2019 in Fulton, and Carmen told us those white drum sticks he's using are his sons. Right? Remember that? He told us that last week.
4 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
that was August 2019.
August of 2019.
What a memory you got, man.
Yeah.
I know, really. It's amazing.
I remember the night. It was a great night. Yeah.
And the only one we don't have in this picture is Kyle, right?
No, that's
I didn't see Kyle in that one.
No, but there was a one.
He was there.
Yeah, no, oh, here we. Yeah, you know what? Just in case Kyle watches this back and wonders, hey, wait a minute, I was on that gig too. You know what? We're gonna give Kyle his Kyle his just due here and
props.
Get the picture with Kyle in it. Where hold on, this is my job as co-producer. There we go.
As the coordinator, yes.
Yeah, kind of the video coordinator of this show. So here he is, the great organist.
Well, that's that. There you go. That's him. And there's Carmen. That's all of us right there.
Look at you, just looking at Nance, and I just love the expression.
We had a ball, man.
Yeah.
Kyle's from Philly, and you know, following in the tradition of all the great organists that come out of Philly. And
well, you know, that's where I had my run. That's where I learned my craft, was in Philly in a black jazz club, organ trio only. Everybody came.
Was that Gertz? What was the name?
Jules. She was on Broadway.
Oh, Jules. I never got to work at Jules.
Oh, man.
But I of course I heard about it.
Yeah.
I was
you worked there with who were you there with?
Well, I was with the house band. So I was up with Joe Johnson on organ, Joe Jefferson on tenor. He's gone.
Uh-huh.
I regrettably cannot remember the drummer. Just organ trio, man. They didn't look at no music, no charts. Just call tunes, tell me the key.
Did you know Bootsy Barnes?
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
of course I did.
That was
Tony Williams.
Bootsy was beautiful. Tony Williams. I played that festival. I played that jazz festival many times for Tony Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Philly had a great, well, still does, but I mean, had a great, what a great soul in that town.
That was my education.
That was a feeling. Yeah.
It was my education. And she had in the back room, she had 2 rooms in that little club, and in the back room was all the main headliners coming in. So she had like Betty Carter to be coming through, and
sure,
Holmes and Joey D used to come in. He was just 13, 14 years old. His mom and dad used to bring him in, and he'd get up and just tear it up so bad we like, why would I get up there after that? Like
that's what what McDuff used to. I worked years with Jack McDuff. He knew Joey when he was he's a little kid. His father would bring him in.
Great. I was almost too young in the jazz business to appreciate what was going on. You know what I mean? It was so heavy what was going on, and I didn't even realize it.
Well, when I first started working steady in Philly was a spot called Ortlieb's.
Oh yeah, Ortlieb's is still there.
Huh. I know it's still there.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh,
and
man.
You would they give you a week. In them days, they give you Friday, Saturday night. And you'd go in there and dig this, Nancy. The house rhythm section was Shirley Scott, Arthur Harper, and Mickey Roker. That was your rhythm section. Yeah. So and the crowd, you know, it was a steady crowd. They were there all the time. They knew what was right and what
no, that was the real deal, man.
And what wasn't.
Those were ears. Those ears knew.
It was that spirit. I met a great woman there by the name of Sue Ford, who used to put on shows there, and her daughter Kim Tucker, who's still here with us and still in Philly, and it was a real family. And I met Bootsy years before, but of course he was a mainstay at Alt Leaves, and Pete Sodders ran the joint, and
Simmons on piano.
So Sid Simmons, I was just about to say that was And then when Shirley Penn and Sid came in, and Sid would call me all the time. And at that time I was off and on the road. Sometimes I could make it, sometimes I couldn't. But Sid and I became great friends, as did Mickey, Mickey and I.
Sid.
Yeah.
We all had serious things.
Philly's got such a beautiful spirit.
It was one of the greatest.
One of my very favorite towns still.
Yeah.
But I miss Alt Leaves a lot. I miss that. I miss the.
It's got a whole different vibe from New York too. It's like it's got its own heart.
It's got its own. It's completely.
Yeah,
it's got its own. It's got its own feeling. And then I worked many years with Jimmy McGriff too, who was a Philly son.
So many.
And we played at all of those shows. That's where I played at Tony Williams festivals.
Yep. Tony Williams.
And then Jimmy used to work a lot in Trenton and Camden, and
it was various, a whole thing, man. You could work all over there. I was there for 5 years. It was like, we worked all the time.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Great. It was really great, man.
Jimmy was a house rocker.
I used to live in Wilmington. I used to see Joe Biden at the gas pump.
And Wilmington, that's where. And then Joey's family moved over to Wilmington.
Yeah.
After a while, I used to go down there sometimes, play down there with his father. Yeah. Wilmington's like a mini. It's like a mini Philly. You know, it's got a little. It's close by. I mean, it's not. I'm not making.
It was only 20 minutes. It was only 20 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. It's got.
Yeah.
But we dig this now. I worked the Opera House.
Oh,
Remember the Opera House in Wilmington?
Absolutely.
We did a little run with George Wein. This is back in the 80s with Ham, and we would do all George Wein's stuff. We go to Wilmington, we go to Philly, and he put a package together. And so this particular run, we worked opposite Nancy Wilson. Nancy Wilson, this is 1982, 1983. And she, of course, Ham had to always close the show. So Nancy would open. So I'd get my tuxedo and I'd go out and sit in the back, and I'd listen to Nancy Wilson trio with Roy McCurdy.
Oh, I know Roy. I played with Roy out in L.A.
Well, but who's from Rochester?
I know.
As you guys know, and it would be Roy McCurdy, and I believe it was Mike Wolf and John Williams.
I know Wolf too.
And man, she would open, and I got to hear her like a week straight, because we would play. They would always open, and at that time she was opening with "Dearly Beloved," da ba boopy da. And like just sweet, and man, Nancy, you know what I'm talking about.
So Ari asked a great question here.
I'll never forget.
Ari asked if you worked in AC with me, and the answer is no, he did not. We did not cross paths in Atlantic City. You and I.
Where did you work in Atlantic City?
I was in Trump Plaza, which just got.
What years you talking?
Well, whenever it opened, I'm thinking 84, 83.
Yeah.
I was there for years and years and years and years. I had the Jezebel's Lounge there.
Did you ever run into John Coliani down there?
Of course.
Do you know John?
He worked with me. Yeah.
He probably did. Yeah. No, he was. I spent a lot of time in Atlanta, because John and I played in Hamp's band together for many years.
You know who played bass for me down there? Jack Six.
Oh.
With Brubeck.
Brubeck, yeah.
I saw Jack Six with Dave Brubeck. It was one of the first. I went with my father, in right around 72, I guess it was, at the Westbury Music Fair. I saw Jack Six and Alan Dawson and Dave Brubeck and Jerry Mulligan at the Westbury Music Fair. Yeah.
It's just crazy. We're all connected. But I was going around to say, one of my stints down there, we did these 3-month stints, and you do 3 months on and 3 months off. Everybody from Philly, everybody from New York was doing it. That's where I met John DiMartino. It's where I met John Coliak.
You know what? I met John DiMartino
in AC.
He might have been working with you.
Mike Wolf did one of my 3-month stints with me. And we stayed, we actually roomed together. And so I got pictures of him running around in his skivvies. I says, Mike, I got you now, man. You're blackmailed. You better be going.
Well, he was working with Nancy Wilson around that time.
Well, he was her conductor for quite a while. But this when he was not, he was tremendous. He was, of course, he liked to unload a little bit more, than he probably got to do with Nancy. No,
probably so. Sure.
You got reeled into some of those arrangements,
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a hell of a time in my life. It was great.
It's funny you mentioned that, John. I met John in Atlantic City. It was 87. So he might have been working with you.
He was working with me.
Yeah.
Tony and I, we worked together for a lot.
Yeah.
I even worked with him in New York for a little while, couple places.
Yes, indeed.
I remember Giacomo Gates came in and sat in, and See, my daughter moved home.
Giacomo's a good pal.
Oh,
from Bridgeport.
He's the boy.
You mentioned Michael Wolf. I know Michael the last couple of years has done some projects with a guy. I feel like Jerry probably knows everybody. Mike Clark, the drummer.
Yeah,
there's a drummer. There's a drummer, baby.
Mark, I was lucky. Mark's on one of my. Mike is on one of my CDs.
Oh, is he?
We recorded out in Oakland. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I got to work with Mike over the years. He's he's Mike Clark.
Yeah. He's a bad man. He is a bad man.
Of course.
You mentioned Wilmington, Nance, and we've been talking about organists, and I love the fact that you and Jerry and I all have this love of B3 players. Tell
Jerry about your show that you had.
Well, I had a show called the B3 Bonanza every Friday on my old station, WAER out of Syracuse. Every Friday for an hour, and then eventually it expanded to 2 hours. I would just do a show devoted to organ music, whether it be McDuff or McGriff or Joey D or Tony Monaco, Groove Holmes, Mel Ryan, Bobby Forrester, you name it. It was just a fun way to close out the week. And I used to love playing cuts from this record. And I was curious if Nance, you knew of this club in Wilmington called the Club Baby Grand.
Oh yeah, I played there. And I played there with Wilby Fletcher, who was my brother. Drums.
I remember Wilby. I worked with Wilby.
Yeah.
But I used to love playing this. Jimmy did a couple of records at the
Baby Grand and Wilby. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. But no, I mean, we all share a love for Hammond B3 players, and there's just something about the sound of a B3 and a saxophone.
Well, you mentioned Bobby Forrester, who was really the guy that actually got me. That's how that was pretty much my way in.
Right.
Because Bobby would hire me to work with him. Bobby would work. Nance, Bobby would, this is in the day where you'd have a steady Wednesday here, you'd have a steady Thursday tomorrow at this other joint, you'd be out here on Sunday night, so he had these little steady Tuesday, Wednesdays, and then the weekends he was Ruth Brown's organist for many years. But
Ruth Brown.
Bobby was a native New Yorker from the Bronx and worked with everybody. Sonny Stitt, Stanley Turrentine, George Coleman, you know, you name it. He worked with all of the greats. Was a great musician. So he schooled me in the fact. So from there, all those years working with Bobby at Showman's and the little gigs, and I was able to fall in with McDuff and all the rest of those guys. I had that background already, and that's due to Bobby Forrester, who was a great. He was my older brother, I always say.
Mike says hello. Mike Believable. I don't know what's he talking about here. Jeffrey, tell the story. I got to run her everywhere. Who is this? Mike Melito.
Oh, Melito. Yeah. Melito. Yeah, it's Jeffrey. Yeah, that's it. And Neil Miner also. He's a Jeffrey guy.
What is it? Don't leave me out. Okay, this is not for public.
Oh God, hey, Melito. That's
Melito, Lucido. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well,
by the way, Nance, Joe Cortini texted me this photo, and I'm gonna just try to hold it up to the screen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Joe Cortini, Carmen, and
that's Fulton.
That's Fulton.
Oh,
that's
Joe
Mags. That's Joe Mags, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe, you mean Joe Cortini?
Aren't they pals? Joe Cortini and Mags. I think they're buddies.
Joe Cortini knows a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, look at.
Hey, Eric, send me that picture. I'd like to see that. That's a nice shot.
We got our work cut out for us. We got to send you a bunch of pictures.
I know. Yeah. I got to.
These are good memories.
I will send you that picture. And for people who don't know, that's the. That's the man you were talking about earlier, the great Bobby Forrest.
Now here's what I'm going to tell you about this. I know something about this
picture.
Look at
that. This is William Ash. I don't know if you guys know William Ash. He's a great guitarist, and I know he's playing more bass now than he is guitar. He's a great musician. He's got Tootsie Bean on there. Yep. He had a steady Sunday night at Smalls. This is back in the 90s. And Bubba Brooks. Now, if you're familiar with Tina Brooks,
right?
Bubba Brooks is Tina's older brother.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Bubba worked with Bill Doggett for many years.
Oh, well, Bill, yeah.
Yeah. So Bubba's a little older than Tina, so he plays a little older style than Tina. Tina played a more of a bebop kind of. Bubba played an Ornette cut was a little more Texas. He was a groover. And they had this band. This was their band together for quite a while. And William, thank God, was recorded a few nights of this group and put out. It's a great record, by the way. I know. I think Undecided is Undecided on this one.
I think so. I think we had this record at the station. Yeah, I used to
go down and sit in with these guys all the time, and I'm so glad they put this record out.
Yeah,
it's really sweet. And did you ever work with Tootsie Bean, Nance?
No.
Oh man, you would have loved him. He had a big swinging beat. Tootsie was from Bermuda,
shit, man.
and he's back in Bermuda right now. But Bobby and Tootsie were a team for many years, and they worked with Ruth together, and then they worked all the spots in New York together. They were really a team, and you could tell it. You could hear it in the playing. They were locked, and in fact, we did a couple of recordings together too.
Your who was a big influence for you when you were picking up that tenor? And was it a combination of everything you had heard, or was there a couple cats that just?
Yeah, it was. Well, man. Like I said, initial the very first guy was Stan Getz. That was my guy.
That interesting.
So I tried to copy his style, and then of course my father, who was a very hip guy, he said to me, "Well, Stan, he comes from Lester Young." And I said, "Oh yeah," and then you know, he had some old Lester, and I put the Lester Young right. I said, oh, shoot, yeah, you could hear that, how he's, and then this is now we're getting into the mid 70s when Dexter Gordon made his return to New York. And I heard Dexter Gordon at the Vanguard.
Oh.
Dexter's my man.
I said, whoa. And that's, yeah. And then that's when I started really that's when I started really trying to get into playing these note for note solos and learning solos and he was a very, 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 well, still is. He's still a very big influence on it. I got to hear him play. See, I was lucky. I got to hear these guys in person. You know, I heard Stan Getz's, I heard him. I heard Dexter Gordon. I heard him a million times at the Vanguard and everywhere else. I heard Sonny Rollins. I heard Sonny Stitt. You know, I didn't get to hear Gene Ammons. I heard on it. I sat next to.
I was going to say you got a lot of Gene Ammons on you too.
I love Gene Ammons, but I heard Sonny Stitt a million times. I sat next to Ornette Cobb, George Coleman. I heard Hank Mobley. I heard, you know, all of these, Stanley Turrentine, you know, and it's like you grab, you know, you grab a little of this, you take from here, you take in, you know, you absorb all the styles that you like, and hopefully you pull, you know, you turn it around, and eventually you try to sound like yourself, you know.
Yeah, you run.
So you don't want to stop, but initially when I was coming up, I would try to copy these guys.
We all do that. That's what we all do.
Like every single great musician will tell you, they somewhere along the line they had a guy that I got a guy. Yeah. So these were all real strong influences on my.
That's why you and I gel
on my playing. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Chance to operate because we both have the same very, very similar influences. Like it just. Yeah. That's what formed me, you know. But I'm all about rhythm in blues. Yeah. Now, Ari Silverstein wants to know if you have any Irene Reed or Etta Jones stories.
Yeah, I do. I was lucky to work with both of them. I worked two Jazzmobiles with Irene Reed, with Bobby Forrester, who got me on those gigs. I did a couple. I did two of them. I did one in the Bronx and I did one in Harlem with Irene Reed back in the 80s. She had a group now. She had a great band with mostly it was Bobby, Tootsie, and another great saxophone player who doesn't get mentioned enough, by the name of Harold Owsley from Chicago. Harold Owsley, great guys. Look him up. Great saxophone player from Chicago. And a great guy and a great sound. He was a real Chicago. He had that Chicago sound. He sounded like Mickey Hill. Was another great Chicago player. He came up. He's a little younger than Jug and those guys. But but anyway, so Bobby got me on these dates with Irene Reed. So I did get to work with Irene. And I would see her a lot because she worked at Showman's and she worked all the spots in Harlem.
She was at my club.
Yeah.
Jules.
She was a great singer. Now Etta Jones,
that's my girl.
Who of course, I mean, and her in Houston, they had that great band for so long, and they worked for so. And I just knew Etta just from being out on the road, and we'd see each other and blah blah blah. And then we'd see each other in New York, and I actually got to record with Etta on a record date that Keita Betts. Do you remember Keita Betts, a great bass player?
Sure.
Worked with Ella Fitzgerald for so many years. Keita was from the DC area, and we used to go down and play at the at that time it was called the East Coast Jazz Festival down in Maryland. You know, right outside of DC. Now it's called something else, but they would have it at the DoubleTree Hotel. And it was a weekend, and it was a hang, and it was a party, and but Keita would work there I did years with him there, And one year he got Etta to come in and do some tunes with us. And we got to be good. We got to be good. Etta was just the sweetest lady in the world. I'm gonna get, I cry. I'm 60 something years old now, so I cry at the opening of the Stop and Shop down here now. So I cry. I cry over everything now. But a couple of years later, I met her nephew, and he said to me, "Oh, you're Jerry." She said, Etta really loves you. She said to me. So.
Oh my God.
That was.
She is one of my absolute favorite jazz.
So that's that's my. All right. All right. I gotta get.
When you get done with our show, we're almost done, babe. And when you're done,
but that's Etta was the greatest, man.
I think so. And I never quite got that thing between Etta. So there was a Nancy Wilson connection and a little Jimmy Scott connection, and they all sounded so similar with the inflection.
Well, you can really hear little Jimmy Scott in Nancy.
Yeah.
You can really, I mean, you can really hear that. That's not a stretch.
There's no mistake there, though.
That's not a stretch. But now that you mentioned, you can hear it in Etta too. But it's really, it's really, when I first heard little Jimmy Scott, I said, "Oh man, I see where Nancy, where she got her style."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Now, little Jimmy Scott, I never got to work with him, but I got to hear him plenty.
I knew him quite well, and I knew his wife too. I knew them quite well.
Yeah, he was. Man.
Well,
Lionel Hampton.
Who hooked me up with him was Todd. Bartlett.
Well,
because I was working at Dizzy's a lot. I did the late shift at Dizzy's for a long time. Todd was very good to me. Put me in there.
Todd was good to me. No, he looked out for me. That's for sure, man.
Well, he knew who.
Oh, he was a tenor. He loved the tenor, boy.
Oh, well, that's my favorite thing.
Weldon, industrial strength, he used to call it. Industrial strength, the 40 mule team. Oh, Todd's the greatest.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he is. He really
he is. He's doing he's keeping it going down there.
I know. We got to get down there. We got to get down there, man.
That's a beautiful room too.
I'll
down
get
at that
there.
Keystone.
Why don't
you like that
down there?
That's a great room.
Let's go down there and blow it up, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I was down there with Joey year before last, I guess it was.
Does he have an in-house B3?
He's got a piano. He's got a piano, and he's got an organ in there.
See, organ's my thing. Organ trio's my thing.
We get Dino and go down there.
Hey, let's go down there with a D monster.
Take Carm and the guys.
We'll go down and blow it up.
Get the gang, the whole gang.
Gang.
Go down there like the four Mills brothers.
I got a guy.
I know you got a guy.
I know you got a guy.
I only got 2 more pictures to share, Jerry. I'm going to take.
Please do.
I'm going to take you back.
Okay.
Am I
going to be embarrassed? Okay.
Well, I'm going to take you back. This is as far back as we're going to go. 1979, and I can't send you this picture because guess what? I found it on your Facebook page. So
on my Facebook page?
Yes. So you have this picture.
Okay.
Can you tell me who's in this picture with you?
What is this? Which one is Jerry?
This is from 1953. No, I'm just kidding.
What is this?
It's 1979 in New Brunswick.
That's David Schumacher on the baritone, who's facing us, and I'm looking sideways.
Yeah.
What?
See, I got my my 1979 haircut going there. Nice, as we both do. This was a concert. It was probably Bill. I see. Yeah, that's Dave Schumacher, who's a great baritone saxophonist from Chicago.
Yeah.
And we played in. So we left Rutgers, and then we played in Lionel Hampton's band together, and then we played in Harry Connick's band together. So
there you go. So you and Schumacher have a lot of history.
He's a lifelong brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we're I talked to him yesterday. But,
well, I saw that one. I said we got to include that one in the show.
I'll tell you what happens. Here's what happens. We would play a concert a week because what happened was Paul Jeffries had the band and we had the big band, and they would bring down concerts every week. There'd be a Jim Harrison. Nancy, I don't know if you remember Jim Harrison. Well, Jim Harrison's still with us. He's a great promoter, and he'd bring down Barry Harris and Junior Cook and George Coleman. It'd be Matt Adderley. There'd be a concert every week, and we would play before the main act. We were sort of open for them, and sometimes the guys would play with us. But those were great years down there at Rutgers. And Larry Ridley was ran the program, and it was nonstop. It was 24/7 music.
Yeah. We're coming back, man. It's not over.
I was gonna say it's.
I mean, I'm getting up there in years, but I dream of getting back out. The right situations,
he'll be back. We'll be.
I can't back. I can't travel unless it's a good way. But yeah, I can't sleep on any couches anymore, man.
Well, we've done that.
We've suffered through that.
A room would be nice. A nice room overlooking the rent.
Well, Jerry Weldon, you were beyond spectacular.
Are we done? Did I do as good as Mags? That's very implied. Just tell me that.
Did I do as good as Mags?
You know what I think we can safely say, Lance?
I can't believe you had him before you had me. That's another story.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Ahead.
I understand. He's the hometown guy. Yeah.
I say.
No. I'm just sure. I'm kidding. What's that? Huh?
I saved this picture for last because I figure,
I don't know if I can take another one.
As the interview, and this it's not even an interview.
This your big closer, huh?
This fun chat comes to a close. I figure that the sun is setting on this program.
Oh, look at that! Look at that picture. That's very artsy, very artsy.
It is such an incredible photo of you.
That was in Italy, I believe.
Whoa!
That was in Italy, and
it's just an incredible silhouette of you, though, man.
Yeah.
Was that Italy, really?
That was in Italy. Yeah, that was in. Yes, I remember that.
I'm not. This was not going to be like a picture that was going to make you go, "Oh, no!" I just thought this was like a.
Nancy, do you know Denise King?
That name is very familiar. Yeah,
great singer from Philly.
Yeah, I know the name.
From Philly. She's from Philly. Great singer, and she spends a lot of time in Europe too. She goes back and forth. But that was the night that was with Elio Coppola and what they call the Hammond Groovers.
Oh.
Great, which I recorded I'll send you if you don't have it, Eric. I'll send you a CD. With the Hammond Groovers, Italian musicians. They can swing.
Please.
They can swing. It's called We're Rolling. Anyway, we did that was with the Hammond Groovers and Denise King. And that was the summer, this is maybe about 2-3 years ago, the summer down in Italy. And someone took that picture.
Looks like we have a verification of when that picture was taken, according to Virginia DeBerry.
That's
okay.
We know.
Italy, 2018.
She must be watching in the other room.
I said 2-3 years. There you go. 18.
You were right. You know Virginia, Nance?
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, honey.
Oh.
Well, see, then if she says that's what it is, then that's it.
Ah, okay.
That was the summer of 2018. Okay.
And I agree with Ari Silverstein. Don't let the sun go down on Jerry. We're not.
No, we're not done. I gotta do another B3 record, man. It's in my bones right now.
Please do. Please. Yes.
Gotta.
Yes, you do.
We gotta do that. We gotta
Yes,
go
you do.
tear it
Well,
up.
listen, we want to tell people to check out your website, right? JerryWeldon.net, right?
That's right.
And
Come by, and then you can see me on Facebook and all of that. We post all this, when we're playing. I'm playing tomorrow night at Smalls.
Oh,
Tomorrow night at Smalls, 5:00. Tomorrow night at Smalls with the Evan Sherman Sextet with Joe Maggs.
Nice.
I can't get rid of this guy. I don't know what to,
because you got a guy.
Joe, and he shows up. I don't know. He set up, and there he is. I don't know.
It's like everywhere you look.
Oh, again. All right. Yeah, we'll do the thing. We'll do the Anthony Wanzi, Frank Lacey, Peter Washington, and Evan Sherman, who's leading the band on drums. So Smalls tomorrow night, and
love it.
That's the latest. And hopefully there'll be more to come. So come stop in and see us. Stop in on Facebook or stop in on the web. Say hi. Keep the cards and letters coming.
We got good days ahead. Trust me, we do.
Eric, thank you so much.
Oh man, thank you.
It's flying by.
It flew by, and please say hi to Richie.
I didn't even get to do my A material. So you gotta have me back.
It's okay. There will be. This is the start of a Jerry Weldon miniseries.
I don't work blue. It's all legit stuff. Okay. Hey Nance, great to see you.
It's so great to see you, and we enjoyed it so much.
You. Oh, thank you.
This show is up on. It'll stay on my page.
Who do you got next week?
Oh,
You want to just come back, Jerry, every week? No. We can bump our guests. It's all right.
I got to move a few things around, Eric, but I'll do my best. It's a little last minute. My schedule is very tight.
He's got the Long Island shuffles. What do you got?
Oh my God!
I will say hi to. I'll send your dad's regards to Richie.
Richie Iacona, and remind me of the place in Elmont again.
Mixed Notes.
Mixed Notes. Okay. All right, gotcha.
That's where the Magnarellis got together. Supposedly, that's what
All right. Well,
that's where we made. We made the love connection.
Oh,
beautiful. Well, this has been an absolute blast.
Yes.
Thank you.
It was for me.
Oh man!
I feel like you did a gig, man. Where do you see you? You're going to be all like.
Well, just.
It's great.
Call anytime, Eric. Things are getting a little slow these days.
I got it, my friend.
I can move some things around. We can make it happen.
Oh my God, Nancy said this show was going to be a gas, and man, it was.
Oh, good.
It really was.
All right. Well, I sure enjoyed it.
We'll give our love to Virginia.
Well, I sure will.
And we'll see you this summer, hopefully.
I hope so.
Yeah, I had a feeling that.
I hope so. We gotta get out and start swinging again.
Oh man, I need it so bad.
Yeah, we will. We will. Like I know how to swing. I mean, you guys.
You're doing dance. You're doing students now, huh? You're doing some online stuff.
Keeping me alive right now, man.
Good. Good.
I don't.
Survival.
It's a good thing.
All right.
Oh yeah, Virginia says you got to end the show. Jerry's got to wash the dishes. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
so we got
to
wrap it up. We got a guy. And on that note,
and with that, I'll say
bye. We love you, baby.
Love you. Thanks.
Love
guys.
you, Jerry. Thanks.
Talk to you soon.
See you next week. Thanks, Jerry. Great show.
All right, babe.